Humanity, I love you all with all my heart, with all my might. As you know, my videos are about love, energy, creation, infinity, because this is exactly who we are. We're infinite love, we're infinite creation, we're infinite energy. Why? Because of the human heartbeat. The human heartbeat generates the electromagnetic field that surrounds the human body and it powers it. So we think, we're conscious, self aware, we're intelligent, and most importantly, we're sentient. So we have emotions and feelings. Okay? Because emotions are energy, just it, love comes from the heart and it can be measured at the labs. It's the highest frequency that the human heart can generate is love. It's the highest frequency. It's the highest frequency that the human heart can generate is love. And we are alive. Our primordial instinct to live, to exist, is the human heartbeat. It's the human heartbeat. So then, what does that make us then? If emotions come from the heart and we're alive because of the human heartbeat. Without the human heartbeat, we wouldn't exist. So that means that we live to love and we love to live. Because our instinct to live, which is a human heartbeat, generating the electromagnetic field that powers the human body so we can be conscious and self-aware and know that we exist and we're one with everything, is the same place where love comes from. Okay? It's the same place where love comes from. Love comes from the heart. That's why when we make love, we have children. Because it's energy we're creating. It's a frequency. So our instinct to, and we love our creation, It's an instinct to love our creation. To love our children. We love our children with all our heart, with all our might. Because it came from us. We created it. It's pure love. It cannot be helped because it's an instinct. It's an instinct. So our instinct to live, the primordial instinct to live and exist, is a human heartbeat. And the human heartbeat, once we're conscious and self-aware due to the electromagnetic field of creation, light spherical beings that we are, then we can love as a result because we're sentient, we're conscious and self-aware, we're one with infinity, we're intelligent. And then, we love. So we live to love. It's our instinct. We live to love and we love to live. Why? Because we want to feel good. Comes from the heart. We follow our hearts. We want to feel good. We want to feel good about our creations. We want to feel good about ourselves. We want to feel good about others and our children. We want to make sure that our children are good and we are good. So it's all connected. We live to love and we love to live. The purpose of life is a life of purpose. Purposeful life, meaningful life, fulfilling life, happy life. Because that's what we strive for, all of us, the pursuit of happiness and all these different notions. Love itself, because it's our instinct. We love our children, it's an instinct. We live to love and we love to live. So what does that make us then? What does that make us? If our instinct to love is our instinct to live, and we live to love and we love to live and all this, and energy is love and we are creation ourselves because we are energy and energy creates life and we're alive and we were created by the human heartbeat, our biological creator with the electromagnetic field. So that means that our nature, we gotta listen to our nature, follow our heart. And what's our nature? Well, we are a benevolent species. We're a heart-based species, we're a love-based species. This is who we are. We're a heartful species. We're a benevolent species because we live to love and we love to live. This is exactly who we are. It's our nature. We're infinite love. We're infinite creation. We're infinite energy. Because the human heartbeat is this electromagnetic field, this singularity, the pulse of life, the pulse of creation. That gives us life in the first place. So we're conscious and self-aware, intelligent. We're aware of our own existence and that we're part of infinity and we can understand infinity itself and know that we're it. We're part of it. And then we're sentient, so we have love, and love is the energy of the heart. And then we are alive because of the heart, so the highest energy of the heart is the energy of love. And then we create because we're alive, we're energy, we're light spherical beings. This is who we are. And we make love, we have children, that's the biological reflection of it immediately. And then we love our creation, and then we love ourselves and self-love, and we love others and the other things that we create because we've been creating for thousands of years, however old we are. Doesn't really matter since we've been here creating and loving, doing the things that we do. Okay, so this is who we are, this is our nature. Remember who we are, we're light spherical beings, we're a benevolent species, we're a loving species, this is who we are. We're infinite energy, infinite love, infinite creation. We're sundials, we're compass. This is exactly who we are. This is exactly who we are. Compass, we're sundials. This is exactly who we are. We're light spherical beings. We're infinite energy, infinite love, infinite creation. Okay, so let's talk about today's video. Let's talk about today's video. It's a very special video. It's perception. I want to talk about perception today. I've been talking a lot about reality and all these different notions, but I really want to deep dive into what perception is from an objective reality point of view, our senses, what we call sensory perception, and then let's make sense of it. Let's talk about it. Okay, so let's talk about perception and what it is. And you can always refer to the visual because obviously this is a visual book, so my text is written in a visual way, so it makes easier sense. It's an illustration, and then I make these videos, which is also a visual because we're visual learners. So I explain my ideas. Okay, so you can always refer to it on y.how/perception. That's y.how/perception. It's on YouTube and it's on Substack. Okay, so let me talk about it now. I'm gonna read it a few times and then I'll go line by line and explain my logic and why I went about it in this way. Because remember, the name of the book, the title of the book is Fantasies and Illusions, Compass, The Quest for Free Will. Okay, that's the full title. And this video talks a lot about fantasies and illusions and compass. Okay, the nature of it, the values, the properties, the qualities, the attributes, the constitution of these terms, fantasies and illusions and compass, both. So the most accurate representation, so you can understand the definition of it. And because sensory perception, consciousness and self-awareness, who we are, reality itself, objective reality, truth, then you can see the transformation because it's all about metamorphosis. It's going from unawareness to awareness, from unconscious to conscious, knowing who we are, light spherical beings, infinite energy, compass, sundials. Okay, so it's the transformation. It's this from fantasies and illusions to compass, who we are, spherical nature, just like the earth itself, just like the sun, just like our eyes. Everything is light spherical energy. Creation itself, I have spoken about these many times. So let's just dive in, okay? So I'm gonna read it and then we'll take it from there. So sensory perception, on the left side of it is fantasies and illusions. It's like the original state, unconsciousness, unawareness, not knowing who we are, not knowing our nature. And then we move into the right side, which is integration, is coherence, is consciousness, is self-awareness, is metamorphosis, is full transformation, evolution into who we are, light spherical beings, compass, sundials, infinite energy, infinite love, infinite creation. I mean, conscious and aware of this, our nature. Benevolent species, loving species, heartful species, love-based species, heart-based species, spherical light beings, infinite spherical light beings, just like energy itself out there in the cosmos, infinity itself. Spherical energy like the sun, but at our scale, the biological scale, where we love, we're consciousness, we're infinity, we're self-awareness, we are all these things. Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's start with fantasies and illusions. Remember, let's just start with the basics. Remember, fantasies and illusions, they come from mediums and media. Mediums and media, okay? Messengers and messengers. You got messengers and messengers, both in the way of mediums and media, outside our control and within our control. Okay, that's the two scales. So you got outside your control, our control, or within our control. And the way this happens is fantasies and illusions in the way of sensory perception. It comes from mediums and media. And these mediums and media come in the way of messengers and messengers. Okay? This is the way it is. This is the nature of it. Okay? So I have spoken about this many times. So I'm just going to define it, what it is, the constitution of it, qualities, the values, the attributes. Okay? So let's start there. So the delusional. It's these delusional, right? So that's like a state of fantasies and illusions, meaning us, the individual, the creator, the resonance, identity and true self, right? You, me, humanity, each human, each compass, each sundial, because of an awareness and unconsciousness, is being delusional in a sensory perception point of view, our observance and understanding of reality. Okay, and what's the definition of this delusional action, this delusion, that delusional state that encompasses fantasies and illusions? Well, that's falsehoods driving misinterpretations of reality. And then again, this applies at any scale. So what do I mean about falsehoods driving misinterpretations of realities? Well, things that are not real, false things, whatever that is, whatever mediums and media, it doesn't really matter. Messengers and messengers, it doesn't really matter. Within our control and outside our control. Okay? So you fill in the gaps. It could be anything at that scale. Hey. And then again, what's the next stage of it? As abstract. Fantasies and delusions are abstract. So what's abstract again? Well, abstract is vague notions inconsistent with reality. These are incomplete data sets, incomplete information, events or facts or whatever, experiences, memories, circumstances, occurrences, past events or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Fantasies and illusions outside our control, within our control, messengers and messengers, mediums and media, all these things impacting our perception, sensory perception, meaning our senses, our five senses, and they're all connected right next to our brain, right? Ears to hear, mouth to taste, nose to smell, eyes to see, and skin to feel and touch. So the five senses right next to the brain, and our brains making sense of reality, sensory perception as a result, which is reality, what we understand as reality, decoding it. So whatever enters our field of creation, because remember, we're alive because of the human heartbeat, the pulse of life, the pulse of creation, the electromagnetic field, and the space structure is us of it. It's a human body. We're conscious and self-aware. We're intelligent. We're sentient. We're alive. We're intelligent. We can understand. So then, whatever we perceive in our senses is that. And fantasies and illusions are essentially interacting with our force field of creation, our awareness, our consciousness. Okay, and become things outside our control and things within our control. An example or something within our control is our memories, previous events, or how we react to events is within our control. Outside our control is someone that's outside us, just interacting with us, or an event or something. Those are the mediums. That's the context, the layers, outside your control and within our control. Mediums and media could be things like a technology, could be a medium, say a TV, or the internet, or whatever. A mobile phone, doesn't really matter. And there's an infinite number of mediums. Could be a book, could be anything, a movie, doesn't really matter. A song, anything, And then again, the media, what's the media? Well, then again, the bigger thing is the technology itself, the message, the content, and there's messengers and messages, right? You got messages, and then you got messengers. And these interchange roles. Sometimes the messenger could be the messenger, then the messenger becomes a messenger. And this is what media and medium sees. It changes, it evolves. But then again, those things outside our control, creating fantasies and illusions, generating illusions that render fantasies in our mind. So for example, you see an image, a photo, and the photo is not a real thing, right? Because the real thing says a photo of a human. Well, the human is the real thing, but the human is not there, it's a photo. So you're seeing a rendering, like a depiction of the real thing, which is a human, but the photo is an illusion. And that illusion could be in many ways, because the photo might not be actually a super accurate representation of the human itself. It could be edited, it could be a deep fake or whatever. It could be anything that changes it. Editing, lighting, makeup, angles, things, changing the perception of how that object, the actual person, looks like. And that's the illusion, right? It's the messenger, which is the photo, and the message is within the photo, is a person in the photo. And that's outside our control, impacting our perceptions, our senses through sight in this case, right? And then we have emotions and react to it and form memories and things. But then this illusion renders a fantasy, which is us thinking that that image of that person is actually the way the person looks like in real life. And it might be the opposite. It might not even be a real person. It could be just a AI or a deep fake. And then you have this fantasy of that image, and then you render that in your mind and you see, then it carries all sorts of delusional thinking and abstract thinking, and that's what I'm trying to explain. And those are outside our control. Mediums, media, messengers, outside our control, and within our control all the memories. And this is also in the way of events taking place in our lives. And they also form, and they have their own way of impacting us negatively, because the idea of this is low energy, right? Unawareness and consciousness. It tends to be below low, fear-based, suffering, pain, all these different things. We call it the shadow, the unconscious mind, all this static, all this friction, all this low vibration, background noise, all this trauma. Tends to be trauma. Okay, so it's all these different things, sensory perception, right? Fantasies and illusions. And there are experiences alive. We're packed with them in our minds. Since the moment we're born, it's all these mediums and media, all these fantasies, all these illusions, messengers and messengers, outside our control and in our control, that as we start to live this, all these things start to interact with our force field of creation, our perception, our reality. As compasses and things. So that's what this is, okay? And you just an example, you just think of the infinite number of examples of the infinite number of mediums and media and messengers and messages and things outside our control and within our control, events, memories, all these things. It's infinite, right? Refer to the previous videos that I speak about control, what is outside our control and what's within our control, and all these different things, so you understand how you gain power as a compass. Okay, so let's go into abstract now. So abstract is vague notions inconsistent with reality. So it could be anything. You see, a vague notion could be an incomplete set of information. It could be, say, for example, something happened. You hear a noise, but then you don't see where the noise comes from, and you don't know who did the noise, and that's abstract, because it's just noise. We cannot see where it comes from. We don't know who made it. And then if you just use that as a base and you form an illusion through the noise, that vague notion, inconsistent with reality because you cannot fully see where the noise comes from and what the noise is, then that comes from fantasies and all sorts of issues and problems and trauma and fear and all sorts, because it could be a trigger, traumas and things, okay? So let's move into the next category, which is unrealistic. So this is the nature of fantasies and illusions, right? So unrealistic will be misaligned perceptions diverging from reality. Meaning, then again, you see, there's a noise. Again, let's go back to noise. A sound. And then we might think that, oh, that sound came from there. But in reality, it didn't. It came from over there. And then again, that's a divergence from reality. You're misaligning reality. It's unrealistic. Or say it could be something that someone said or did, and then you reacted in a way that is not realistic. And then that could form into anything. This is just a definition and defining it, but you put it into any context and you would understand what I mean precisely, because it's unrealistic. Fantasies and illusions are always unrealistic, always in nature. It's part of their constitution. Just like they're abstract and delusional. It's us as the creator living out these fantasies, these illusions, thinking that they're reality through our senses, when in reality they're not at all. Okay, so then the next one is distorted, and this is part of the definition. And distorted is altered sensory perceptions affecting reality. Is then again, our senses are altered. For example, if you drink alcohol, then it can change your perception, and that's an example. And also it's just something that is affecting reality, shaping reality, morphing it into something that is not realistic, and that's the illusion, and the fantasy. They're rendering this thing that is not real. It's a distortion. It's a distortion of reality. And trauma is that precisely. If you think of things in your control, the shadow and the consciousness, because everything forms in the way of memories in the end, right? in our mind. All the events, all these triggers, all these events that we felt, the sensing, the sensory level of it, of perception. Once the event ends and the experience is over, then what remains? Well, the memory, and the memory has an emotional attachment because we're sentient beings. And if it's negative, because it's a fantasy and illusion through messengers and messages, mediums and media, then what happens? Then you form this notion. It could be a trauma, could be fear, could be anything, and then that could have the shadow defense mechanisms and triggering all sorts of issues in your life. And then you have this altered sensory perception of that's affecting reality because you're not really thinking clearly because of this trauma, this event that you need to deal with and address. Okay, so that's distorted. Then let's talk about dissonant, because dissonant is an important component. Fantasies and illusions are always dissonant in nature, always. All these things are just subjective reality, but I'm just going one by one. Dissonant, so conflicting sensory perceptions disrupting reality. So they lack harmony. A rhythm, like your heartbeat, like your pulse, they're arrhythmic. Hey, they're not constant. They're not real because it's all these distortions. Hey, it's just this noise, this background noise, this friction. Hey, this static. It's a lifeless form because the shadow is that in the end. Everything forms into the shadow. All these events, all this trauma, all these low vibrations ends up in the unconscious mind in the way of a shadow. And you need to address it because it's trauma and problem. And it's all this energy holding you up. You need to free it up. So then we come here to do what we are, compasses, to create and all these things. So it's dissonant, meaning it's not coherent. So in as an example, something that's dissonant is like, it's known as cognitive dissonance. It's like you think, that you're right, but actually you're wrong. And then you're taking actions that you think are accurate, but in reality, they're the opposite. They have a harmful effect or a destructive nature. It's like that's why sometimes people behave in violent ways, thinking that violence is the solution, when in reality, it's the opposite. Violence is the problem, and they're the problem, but they don't realize it because they're dissonant. Because then again, altered perceptions of reality, thinking that they're doing the right thing given what their experiences, their lives, their fantasies, their illusions, their trauma, their fears, their shadow, all these different things. So this is why it's so important to understand the notion and the nature of fantasies and illusions. Okay, so let's move into the next one. Confused. Fantasies and illusions lead to the creator, us, the individual, compass, infinity itself, sundial, to be confused in the end, because it's all these distractions, all these problems. You got all these misalignments in perception. Your senses are essentially overwhelmed, and this is like lacking sensory clarity, disorienting reality. Too much information that is not coherent, is not organized. Too much noise, too much background, too much static, and too much trauma, too much fear, too much low vibration, too much background noise, too much friction that needs to be addressed. Is all these repressed emotions, all these repressed feelings. That's why, most importantly, we're sentient, because it's fundamental. All these memories that we haven't dealt with, all these unresolved issues, unaddressed problems that we need to make. We really need to clear our minds, and heal and recover and all that, and love ourselves, existence and gratitude and all this, which is part of compass, which is where I'm headed. I'm just explaining the nature of fantasies and illusions. And then it's confusion. It's confused, inaction, fear, paralyzation, all these bad things. And then again, that leads to the next layer, which is deceptive, because in the end, it's misleading sensory impressions impacting reality. Meaning, they're false, they're errors, they're bias. That's what they are. They're problems, really big problems in our lives. And then they're causing all sorts of issues because we don't have an accurate representation of reality because of all this deception. All this deception that is essentially has entrapped us with all this trauma, with all this low energy, all these fantasies, all these illusions that we're living out thinking that that's reality because our minds, have all this static, all this shadow, all this unconscious driving us because we're not in control. We're living out fantasies and illusions controlled by all these mediums and all these media, all these messengers and all these messages outside our control and within our control, in the way of the shadow and unconscious behavior, events and trauma and all these different things. So it's deceptive, and the deceptive nature is that is a false thing that we believe is real, and it confuses us. And when you're deceived, then you don't do the right thing. You get fooled and stuff. So It's avoiding that, shattering. And this is what compass is. We shatter fantasies and illusions and render them obsolete so we can actually do what we're supposed to, which is create. So we're moving on to the other side. And then the last one is distracted. And what's distracted is lacking sensory focus on reality. Meaning you're not focused on the here and now, in the moment. You're not focused on the moment. You're not in the present moment. You're not in the eternal present. You're not here and now. You're distracted. All these different triggers, all these different prompts, just all these different anchors, doing all these different things to you and to your life. You're distracted. You lack clarity. You lack focus. So you're wasting your energy and your resources because your time and energy is being wasted because of all these distractions, all these fantasies, all these illusions, all these mediums, or the media, all this drama, all these events, all these experiences, the shadow, the unconscious mind, messengers and messengers, these things outside your control and within your control that you're not aware of yet that are there distracting you. So it's the fantasies and illusions, again, delusional, abstract, unrealistic, distorted, dissonant, confused, deceptive, and distracted. Those are the proper ones. Refer to the visual. Okay, so there's many more, but those are the most important ones. Okay, now let's move into the opposite, which consciousness, self-awareness, who we are, understanding our nature, self-love, infinite energy, infinite creation, spherical light, energy beings, which we have, which is compass. That's why the book's name is Stars, Fantasies, and Illusions. Compass, the quest for free will. Because we manifest free will, this is our nature, because we're conscious and self-aware of infinite creation. And because we're energy, because of our electromagnetic field of creation, the electromagnetic heartbeat, that generates life, the pulse of life, the pulse of creation, infinite energy, light, spherical beings, just like the sun. Then we are energy, so we shatter. We shatter illusions, we shatter fantasies, and we render them obsolete, meaning we disintegrate them. They cease to exist. We deal with them, dispel them, we discharge them, we deload them, we discharge them, we release them. We disintegrate them, So whatever it is that remains as a memory, as an experience, as an event, it's just that. It's an event. It's a memory that has no negative cognitive load attached to it because the energy, the negativity has been dispersed. Discharge. How? Self-love. Because we love ourselves. We know we're infinite energy. We're spherical light beings. And love is the reason why we're here, and we create with love. So we live to love and we love to live. So self-love leads to what? Healing, recovery, self-transcendence, growth, resilience, all these different beautiful things, healing, gratitude, acceptance, forgiveness. So you move on, so you discharge all these emotions. And then one by one, your mind starts to present. That's where we sundials, who stare at the sun, we open our hearts. And all these memories start to pour in, things that we can control. These events, previous events, trauma, experiences, fantasies and illusions in our lives, in the way of memories that we need to address and deal, and heal and recover. Move on, forgive, accept, and be grateful, because then then the memory just gets integrated into our consciousness. It stops being unconscious. The shadow ceases to exist. It gets disintegrated. All the static, all this low vibration, all this low energy, pain, suffering, all this stuff disappears, ceases to exist. All the static goes away, all the friction, the background noise, all that. So all that energy that's been there, been wasted, repressed and suppressed in the ways of emotions and feelings, gets released. And then guess what? The system uses that now coherently. So we can create now, because our minds are fed up, so we can create with our brains and all that, our hearts, with our love. So that's what it is. So let's talk about compass then, who we are, identity and true self, purpose, time and energy, action, why, how, flow, true north, and destination. Okay, so let's talk about the first one. So we move away from delusional into what? Rational. We become rational. We're not delusional anymore, because we're in control of our lives. All these fantasies, all these illusions, all these mediums and media, messengers and messengers outside our control or within our control, they're not gonna do it. They don't have an effect on us because they've been shattered, they've been disintegrated, they've been released, discharged of all that negativity. So we're just pure love. Or these memories, which is there as gratitude to teach us lessons. We understand who we are in nature. And what is that? Is logical thinking aligning with reality. We understand who we are and what we're here for, to create, and we're not going to allow fantasies and illusions to bother us or affect us or impact us in any way, shape, or form. So we're infinite love, we're infinite energy, we're infinite creation, and this is what we're here to do, to make our dreams come true. with our free will. That's what rationality is, understanding the principles of reality that I've been telling you, what infinity is, light spherical energy, all these things, who we are. It's telemetric thinking, spherical logic, all these things, logical thinking aligned with reality. It's what it is. Rational. We move from delusional to rational. We're in control of our lives, of our energy, of our compass, of our sundial. Then we move into from abstract to solid. So we're solid. So what's solid? Firm, tangible presence in reality. We understand reality for what it is, our senses, sensory perception. We understand that we create, we're here to love, and we deal with these fantasies and these illusions, so we just focus on what matters, creating, making our dreams come true through purposeful daily action, here and now, manifesting our free will, our true self, using our heart energy to create. It's what we do. Then again, we move into unrealistic, from unrealistic to realistic, the opposite, which is good, is positive. And what's realistic? Well, accurate sensory perceptions reflecting reality. So our perceptions of reality through our senses are accurate, meaning they're real. They're based on objective reality, on truth. What we see is what it is, because no fantasy, no illusion is out there lingering or annoying us, because they've been dealt with. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Okay, so then we move away from distorted to clear. And what's clear? Where it's unambiguous, concrete perceptions of reality. So there's no ambiguity, there's no vagueness, none of that. Nothing is vague, nothing is ambiguous. Everything is clear, unambiguous. It's concise, it's concrete, it's tangible, it's solid, and everything makes sense. It's clear. Our perceptions are clear. We understand who we are. We have an identity and a true self. We have a purpose, purposeful daily action. We understand our time and energy, and we manage it accordingly. We have a calibration mechanism that gives us clarity and certainty. Why? How? It's a self-correcting mechanism, keeps us on track, on true north, on the way, on the path, so we get to our destination and make our dreams come true. That's it, and we flow with our energy and emotions because we follow our hearts. That's exactly what being clear is. Compass. That's what compass is. It's a directional compass for a reason, because it keeps you on track. So you make your dreams come true, because this is who we are. We live to love and we love to live. We're here to create. We're infinite energy. So we're here to create with love. Okay, so then we move away from dissonant to harmonious, which is then again the opposite. It's positivity, it's infinite energy, infinite creation. And what's harmonious? Well, harmonious is consistent perceptions creating balanced reality. Then again, because infinity itself is harmonious, it's this perfect sphere with its perfect motions, that self-reinforcing, self-learning, self-coherent, always in perfect motion as a sphere, creating infinities and creating everything, the pulse of life, the pulse of creation, the singularity itself. Perfect balance. And this is what harmony is. When you look at nature is beautiful and it's always harmonious. You see the water, you see the ecosystems, everything is beautiful out there. Go out to a lake and sit down around stillness and breathe and be one with everything, and you see the harmonious nature of the sounds of the birds and the sounds of nature, the water, the waves, everything happening around you, the shivering of the leaves of the trees. Everything. It's just harmonious. It's perfect balance. It's perfect balance. So then again, harmonious is that consistent perceptions creating balanced reality. And then we can do that with our coherent thoughts in our minds and our creations, and our purposeful daily action becomes that, just harmonious. Like everything, like infinity itself. No fantasies, no illusions, no shenanigans. Okay, so then we move away from being confused to certainty, certain. And what's certain? Well, certain is clear, profound understanding of reality. Who we are, our nature, infinite eternal creators, infinite eternal compasses, infinite eternal sundials, benevolent species, spherical light energy, spherical beings, who we are, sundials, compasses. One with everything, one with creation, love, and infinity itself as one, creating with a love. Our dreams coming true. Staring at the sun, opening our hearts. Knowing who we are, that's certain, clear, profound understanding of nature. Understanding what nature is. This is who we are. This is who we are. And refer to my previous video, so if you have any you're lacking certainty, you'll find it there. Okay, So let's move away from deceptive, because deceptive is that nature, the bad stuff, the baddies, fantasy and illusions. And then we move into what? The opposite, which is honest, honesty. And what's that? Well, it's truthful sensory impressions, reflecting reality, meaning objective reality, truth. You see the world for what it is. You see reality for what it is. You see yourself for who you are, infinite love, infinite creation. And then you start creating and manifesting infinity, through How, making your dreams come true and everything else that comes with it. Okay. And then again, distracted, which is the last state of fantasies and illusions. And we move away from that into what? Focused. And what's focus? Well, complete perceptive attention to reality. You're fully engaged in reality, focused on reality. You're, complete perceptive attention to reality. Like you understand reality for what it is right in front of you. Right here, I got this beautiful pine cone. And when I look at it, I understand that this is fractals and this is infinite creation. Right in front of me, geometry of creation, man. Right there. It's an example. So that's what I mean by being focused. And then you take purposeful daily action and all the things that come with it. Infinite eternal creation, right there, right in front of you. Our hearts, heart energy, mind energy, body energy, true self energy. That's what, we're infinite eternal creation. This is who we are. We're hammers, we're compasses, we're sundials. We're one with everything. We're one with everything. We open our hearts, open our minds, open our eyes, stare at the sun, sync with reality itself. Spherical light energy coming straight into our senses, through our eyes, supercharging our brains, supercharging our hearts, supercharging our minds, supercharging our DNA code structure so we evolve and we become one with everything. Infinite eternal creation, light spherical beings, who we are. Who we are, because this is who we are. This is exactly who we are. And we're learning about it every day, more and more and more, because infinity is that. It's infinite learning, infinite awareness, infinite consciousness, infinite love, infinite creation. You see, it's very simple. Sensory perception, from fantasies and illusions to compass, who we are. From delusional to rational, from abstract to solid, from unrealistic to realistic, from distorted to clear, from dissonant to harmonious, from confused to certain, from deceptive to honest, from distracted to focused. That's it. Remember who we are. We're infinite eternal creators. We're compass, we're sundials. We're benevolent species, heart-based species, love-based species, heartful species. We live to love when we love to live. This is our nature. We are the leaders of the Republic of Planet Earth. We're the defenders of the Republic of Planet Earth. We're the citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth. We're the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth. This is who we are. We're the human species. Mother Earth is our mama, the Republic. Created us in the first place, just like the Son, our Father, created the Earth in the first place. And our biological creator, the heart, giving us what we need, the pulse of life, the pulse of creation, the human heartbeat, so we can understand who we are. Infinite eternal creation, infinite energy, infinite love. Pulse of life, the pulse of creation. One with everything. Humanity, I love you all with all my heart, with all my might. Love you all with all my heart, with all my might.